folks, Harley Day Rider here, back at you once again, your good old friend HDR, out here on the lovely Road Glide Ultra, coming to you live and in living color from another Friday work day, and we are looking at a three-day weekend. Man, do we need it. This week has been extremely stressful. But on to other topics of discussion. A lot of you have been asking me to review the 2018 Road Glide Ultra. And I'm not a big reviewing kind of guy. I don't know a lot about motorcycles as far as turning the wrench and all the particulars about the motorcycle, to be honest with you. You know that. I mean, I'm doing a little bit more. And I'm going to be even doing more and more with the bike. But I'm going to give you what I do know about the 107 Milwaukee 8 engine that's on this sweet riding bike. And you've heard this from a lot of other moto vloggers, but a lot of you have asked me personally, HDR, what do you think? Was it worth it? Well, 100% I can say it was worth it. I think I had more buyer remorse when I bought the 2011 Electric Glide Classic. And I think the reason was, one, as we talked about in the prior video, I wasn't used to riding a touring bike. So that was one reason. The other reason I went from this 1200 Sportster, to the Electric Glide Classic. And when I bought it, it was kind of an impulse buy. It had the right price tag on it at the time, what I was looking to do. And Mrs. HDR wanted us to have a more comfortable motorcycle to go around with our friends Ray and Pam on. So I didn't hesitate. I pulled the trigger, boom, and I bought the motorcycle. About a week later, I was having buyer remorse. Not that I didn't love my 2011 Electric Glide Classic, but it took me a while to build that love affair with it. And, it was one of those impulse buys, right? I didn't think about it. So that's why I had buyer's remorse. This one I have no quorums about. I have no buyer's remorse about buying this motorcycle. Everything we've been talking about over the past few months, I have now. I have in it. I wanted the Road Glide. I wanted the fixed fairing. I wanted the GPS. The stereo system all the way around me. I wanted the 107 engine. I wanted a colored motorcycle, not just a black motorcycle like I had. So yeah. So if you look at all that, absolutely, hands down, I'm very excited about this motorcycle. I love everything about it. So on with a review, I guess. So let's start at the top. Many of you asked, well, what does Mrs. HDR think about the new bike? Well, we spent a lot of miles together on the last motorcycle. And she has as many miles on this on that seat as what I did. Well, okay, not quite as many as I did, but she had a lot. She had a lot more miles on the motorcycle than a lot of seasoned riders have, right? So Wyoming was 3,420 miles. This year's motorcycle trip was, 2,440 miles, 2,460 miles, somewhere around there. So she is a very experienced passenger on a motorcycle. Let's get out of here. Listen to these pipes for a minute. No hesitation at all. 6th gear, moving right along. So what she said on that trip we took to Johnstown when we got home, I said, so what do you think about the bike? So she goes, well, I can tell you, whenever you hit a bump or, like these little bumps in the road here used to crush me on Route 22, you don't feel it anymore. She said, I don't have, I don't have any vibration fillings anymore on the seat. There's no vibration fillings. It's just a smooth, comfortable ride going down the highway as going down a back road. She said she feels very confident in the motorcycle, and I think that's very good to be confident in your motorcycle, right? Oh, I didn't want to get off this way. Crap. Sorry, let's keep going. So she feels very confident in the motorcycle, and that's important. She said that she can tell that me riding it, I seem to be more confident in the motorcycle. Not really confident in the motorcycle, but confident with the seat height and how my feet fit. I can flat foot the bike. So that's very important. So that is Mrs. HDR's take on this motorcycle. Now let me tell you about my take on the motorcycle. One, the 107 engine, and I haven't ridden the new 114s yet, but the 107 engine has enough power to shoot me down the road just about any speed I want to go. And you guys know I'm not a speed demon. Sometimes I get up around 80 miles an hour when I pass a tractor trailer, and that's about it. One thing I'd like to see Harley do with their touring models, maybe, and I don't know why, but it always seems like they want to have a 7th gear. Like you always want an extra gear, but I'm in 6th gear right now. If you can see that. I don't know if you can see that or not. My TAC is doing 2,500 RPMs, and I'm at 65 miles an hour. So, yeah, does it need a 7th gear? I mean, you'd probably be running at 1,500 RPM, maybe even 2,000 if you had a 7th gear. So, I don't think running at 2,500 RPMs is bad at all. If I get it up to 70, even at 70, I'm looking at about 2,600 RPM. So, not bad, not a bad deal there with that big 107 motor underneath your butt. The windshield height on the Road Glide Ultra, that's stock, is superb. It's great. With the vents open, the wind is coming through here. It's not buffeting you. It's not jumping over top of that windshield. That's another bonus. It works absolutely fine. I don't need to change it. I don't need to try to duck behind it because the wind is actually coming through the fairing and not over it anyway, so it's breaking it all up. It's a lot more comfortable ride. Speaking about the fairing, a lot of you asked the HDR, what about the fixed fairing? The fixed fairing is exactly what everybody said. It's cutting me through the wind. I have no handlebar buffeting at all. You hear this from a lot of moto vloggers that ride the road glides. Because that fairing is on the frame, so your frame is cutting through the wind, and your handlebars are not being disturbed because they're just riding the wheel, which is down through the fairing. Another good point. Makes great sense. We are almost ready, believe it or not. I've had this bike for what, a couple weeks, and I'm at 821 miles on this motorcycle. It was funny too, because when I hit 500, I told Miss HR, I said, hey, I'm at 500 miles on the bike. She said, what? Already? And I said, well, you ride them. Like, I could have been home in, 15 minutes ago, but I'm not. I'm still riding. Let's talk about the big touring models, the Ultra, the Ultras, and the Ultra line in general, across the board. Road Glide, Street Glide, whatever you're riding, right? Electric Glide, Ultras, or whatever they are. So any of those bikes. They're now water-cooled, liquid-cooled engine. Now, is that a big deal? I haven't ridden in enough heat to really tell you. I can tell you that the fans do kick on the radiators, and it does cool the engine down, but I don't really know, when we went out to Wyoming and that engine was cooking on the 2011 Electric Glide Classic, because it was air cooled, like most Harleys are air cooled engines. You know, now they say they got oil cooling on there, oil cooled, and that's always a good idea. But the handling, the mobility of this motorcycle is hands down better than, the Electric Glide Classic. And I think that is because of the shocks. The way they set the suspension up on this bike, you hear a lot that the new suspension is like pretty amazing. It is. It's very amazing, very comfortable. You can lean this bike into corners that I would never lean my other bike into a corner that deep, and I could just lay it down and just go. Not that I do. I don't lay my knee down on the ground or anything, crazy. But you'll really enjoy the suspension on this bike. And like from Mrs. HER's perspective on the back, she's not feeling the bumps like she used to. So that's something to think about. So yeah, it is a totally reworked motorcycle. When they went to the Milwaukee 8, and I was watching a blogger the other night talk about his Road Glide Ultra. He brought up some good points. So it's not just a different engine, there's a lot of stuff underneath of the bike that's been revamped, like with the suspension and everything else. So you're getting a lot more in the package, I guess, when you buy a bike. So, but you know what? Ray told me one time. He said, "Look, when you own a motorcycle, should you actually take that motorcycle and trade it out every 3 years?" Or he said, "You're getting used to the way the bike rides. You're getting used to the way the engine sounds." And he has a good point. I loved the 2011 Electric Glide Classic. I did. There was just some other things that we wanted in a touring motorcycle that would have cost us a lot of money to build that bike up. And we all talked about that. By the time I put new suspension on there for $1,000, by the time I paint it for another $1,500 or $2,500. By the time I put speakers in the rear, put a GPS system on the bike so I don't have to use my phone. There's just a lot that it would have taken. So I think that's everything that I want to tell you about a review. The ABS braking, I have not, thank goodness so far, really need to rely on that. I never had to jam my brakes up yet. So security system is cool on them. If you don't have a security system, I don't have to lock my bike up. I do, because if I'm leaving it somewhere for a while, I'll lock, the lock up, but I don't have to. I could just simply walk away from the bike with the key fob. But I'm always thinking in the back of my head, wonder if you forget the key fob, in your tour pack, if maybe you're just excited to go somewhere and you walk away from the bike and leave the fob there. And this way, if I lock it, I got to take the fob with me because the key's on there. So that's why I lock it up. The cruise control, I've used it and played with it. It works flawlessly, just like it should. Just like the Electric Glide Classic, I had cruise put on that. But you just touch it and set it, forget it. Down the road you'll go. So it works really great. The infotainment system, I know a lot of people are saying the 2019s are so much more superior, and it does everything I need that to do. I got the GPS in. I can load my GPX maps in, which I'm going to teach all you how to do. So if you have a touring bike, or if you have a Garmin, it'll work. But we'll show you how to load it onto the bike, a route from the Harley Trip Planner. So yeah, everything's on it, everything I wanted. And I'm going to have to get it serviced soon, get that 1,000 mile service going. So, alright, so hopefully that puts that to bed, puts that to rest, and everybody's happy now that I gave you some kind of review. And who knows, I'll probably give you, that's almost like a 1,000 mile review. Maybe I'll give you a 5,000 mile review, or maybe one day I'll give you a 50,000 mile review. I told Mrs. HDR last night, I said, we're going to have that bike when it turns over to 100,000 miles. She said, no, you won't. She said, now that you got the bug, she said, you'll have a new bike like every 3 or 4 years. I said, I don't think so. I mean, I'm really pleased with this motorcycle. I mean, I really am. I love the riding. You know, I don't know. Unless maybe Harley comes out with a dolphin nose bike or something, you know, because they call this the shark nose bike. I don't know. It's got a lot of power though, man. It'll get up and go. They're 70 miles an hour with 0 effort. Fantastic motor. Alright everybody, take care. Thanks for watching these videos. Don't forget to crush the thumbs up. I do always appreciate that. And if you're not subscribed, remember, click the subscribe button. And everybody that has subscribed so far, thank you so much for hanging around the channel for so long. Take care. Remember, ride your own ride. Be safe out there. And whatever you ride, you know, enjoy it, love it. Most of all, take care of it. I'll talk to you next time. Harley Davidson will be down and out. In the beautiful warm weather here we're having in southwestern Pennsylvania. Bye-bye for now.